Hi everyone, please let me know if I'm audible to all of you. Hi guys, I hope that I'm visible too as well, right? Okay, let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes, all right? So that others can also join. So till then, tell me guys, so did you practice for our yesterday's session? Yes, please. Everyone needs to give me the answer. Did you guys practice? Okay, good. Good for all of those students who practiced enough. All right. Good evening, everyone. Let's wait for another 2 to 3 minutes, all right, and then we're going to start. I'll tell about the agenda for today's lecture when everyone is gonna join, all right? Promise रिवाइज्ड करना था all right. Promise I'll try to touch it by tomorrow, okay, because tomorrow we're going to talk about the data handling a lot. Okay, I'll try to touch it there. Fine. Okay, any other queries, guys? You want to ask me anything? You have something to share? You want to share your experience or anything? You are most welcome to share, guys. Good evening, everyone. Yes, Archit Tom will be covered tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I will tell you how to cover it. Because if it is saying node is not found, then that means you have not installed the node yet. It yet needs to be installed. Okay, guys, call your friends, ask them to join so that we can start without any further delay. Because today's lecture is going to be very, very useful for you. And guys, if you like the session, please do comment on the videos. All right, yesterday's video as well, and today's video as well. Provide your thumbs up, likes, hearts, whatever you want to do. All right, and give your feedback in the comment section as well. All right, so I think we can start now because today we are going to talk about. Let me share my screen. Let me know, guys, if my screen is all visible to you. Yes, I'm telling about today's agenda. No issues. Wait, let me. All right, so today is day 2. All right, so today we are going to talk about what functions are. What are functions? All right. Then we will talk about that how many types of functions are available. Okay, types of functions. Then we will also talk about that how it is different from how the functions are different in vanilla JavaScript as well as versus ECMAScript. All right. And guys, again, I'm telling you, if you want to grab a cup of coffee or cup of tea, you can have it. All right. So that you can enjoy the session while watching. Okay. Fine. So let's start. All right, guys. So except from this, we will also be knowing that in how many ways we can call functions. All right. Then we will be knowing about the concept of closures. All right. What is the meaning of lexical environment? What is the meaning of lexical scope? Okay. Fine. All right, guys. Screen is not visible. Wait, I have shared the screen. Okay. Now see, guys, is it visible now? Is it visible now, guys? All right, perfect. So I was talking about that today we are going to talk about what are functions. Okay, what are the type of the functions? What are the vanilla JavaScript versus ECMAScript? How many ways we can call a function? All right. Then we will also be talking about the closures. All right, that what closures are and what is the meaning of lexical scope? What is the meaning of lexical environment? Okay, and then we will also dive deep into the higher order functions. All right, so this is the agenda. Now, tell me, guys, how much of you know about what is function? A very basic definition. If I'll ask you, what do you mean by function? Just write, whether it's a single line or anything, just type it in the chat box. Yes, good. Okay. Right. Block of code, collection or block of code to perform, block of code. But why there is a need of function? Like you are saying that this is a block of code, right? But why there is a need of function in this one? Tell me. Okay. Good answers. All right. So let me avoid repetition, reusability. Correct. This is very correct. All answers are very correct, guys. Okay. So let me start. So in JavaScript, basically, the function is basically a predefined thing, right? A predefined keyword, you can say, which is used to define logic, that particular logic which we can reuse again and again, right? Okay, so yes, you have said it very right that this is a reusable piece of code, which is specifically designed to create specific tasks. Functions can make inputs in the form of parameters and arguments, and then they can return the outputs. Okay, so that's what function is. Now if we will talk about the function, okay, so first of all, how functions can be defined, we can write the function keyword, then here the name of the function, okay, round bracket, and then curly braces. So this is the syntax of our function. All right, fine. Now this is the body where we are defining the function, where we are going to write the logic. Here write logic. But you know what, this function is basically, or you can say typically, is like a dead function unless or until you are going to call this. Okay, this function is not going to respond. And even if they now I have told you yesterday that your entire JavaScript is basically built upon the functions, right? Okay, that's why it is known as event driven programming language as well. Correct. So that's why we need to have a functions, because if the functions are not going to be called properly, then they are going to create a problem. Okay, I'll give you a very funny example to understand. So let's say that whenever there is a wedding in any house, right, everyone has experienced that there are some sort of relatives that always if we are not gonna call them specially, then there is going to be trouble in the weddings, right? Everyone agree with me on that? Yes or no, guys? Yes or no, guys? You must have experienced this. Correct. And this is very funny, right? This concept of telling about this is very, very funny, right? So if you're not going to call them, then there is going to be a problem. And now in a similar manner, if you're not going to call the function in your JavaScript code, then that is also going to create a problem. So that's why it is important to call the function. So whatever the name of the function is going to be, what you have to do, you have to just put the round bracket in front of that, and that's it. All right, so this is how we can actually create the functions and call the functions, right? So okay, let me talk more about it. So in functions, basically there are two types of functions in JavaScript. One is a function that we define with function keyword. Okay, now this function basically is used for vanilla JavaScript. Okay, if we talk about ECMAScript, okay, then in here we have this arrow function. All right, now I will also explain the syntax of the arrow function, and then we will go to the VS Code, and then we will try to run the codes. All right, now arrow functions. So arrow function means that I'm going to write here const. Okay, let's say I'm writing here the name of the function is show is equal to round bracket and then the arrow and then curly braces, and here we are going to write the logic. Okay, so these are the arrow functions. So in arrow function, we are going to take one sort of variable. In that variable, can you say that I'm assigning this entire part inside the show variable? Can we say that, guys? Yes or no? Yes, everyone? Let me know. Can I say that we are assigning this entire function declaration inside the variable? Correct. Okay, so this is why we basically typically used to say that functions are in arrow functions, they are basically way to represent the logic that we are assigning. And why we are creating it, what is the purpose of arrow functions? Because they also represent some sort of callback functionality. Okay, so that's why we use it. Okay, I will also show you one more thing in our example, that how they both are going to be different with each other. Okay, now let me take you here. Let us create functions dot, I will create two files, functions dot html and then functions dot js. Okay, because I want to show you something. Fine. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you guys. this function that we are writing as an arrow function, okay, can I say that this function does not have its own name? We are assigning this function into some different variable name, which is show variable, right? All right, which is a show variable. Just wait. Yeah. Okay. But for this part, it actually does not have any its own original name, right? It doesn't have any original name. Correct? Okay. So what we are going to do, right? So here we can also call these functions as the anonymous functions. All right, guys. So these functions are also known as anonymous functions. Clear? Now, let me take you back in here. So let me create the function. So again, here we are going to use the script tag. So h1 functions in JavaScript. Okay, then I can create here script tag. Now within script tag, what we are going to do, we are going to create one function keyword, the name of the function show, round bracket, curly braces, and then I can write here console.log. Okay, fine. And then let me write here hello from show function. All right. Then after that, we can create one more function, const display is equal to round bracket array and then curly braces. And there inside this, I can write console.log hello from display function. Okay. Now we need to call both of them. So show function I'm calling, and then I'm calling display function. All right. And let me save this. Let me make it live. Now see, I'm going to right click. Okay. Then I'm going to click on inspect section, and then I'm going to click on console. Can you see the answer? That hello from show function. Let me refresh it again. And hello from display function. Right. So this is how the answer is going to become. But let me tell you one thing. If I'm gonna write here console.log show, and if I'm going to write here console.log display, can you guys tell me that what is going to be the answer? And I'm giving you guarantee, guys, the things about the functions in a very simpler way I'm going to explain. You don't have to go to any multiple websites or any multiple, videos. Every information I'm going to provide you in here, I can guarantee that most of you have not heard quite the things. All right. So please focus. It is going to give you a very different view or perspective that how we can define functions or how we can call functions. All right. What is the purpose? Okay. Now I'm going to save this. Now tell me, guys, show I'm calling console.log and display I'm calling console.log. Okay. Aditi is saying hello from show function, hello from display function. We get functions. Yes, Devendu. The use of console.log is basically we use it for a developer's point of view. Now, let me show you. Yes, very good. The whole function is going to be displayed. Now, see, guys. Can you see? The entire function is getting displayed in here, right? Okay, because you're doing console.log. Now, I told you what is the purpose of console.log. The purpose of console.log is that it is going to give you the output. If you're simply writing the show function without putting the round bracket, if you will put the round bracket, then that is going to be a function call. Okay. If you don't put round bracket, then it is going to be display. It is going to display the entire function here. All right. And then after that, what is going to happen? For this one as well, it is also going to display the entire this part, which we are assigning in the display. So right now, if you can see in front of this entire function, f is written, right? But in front of it, there is nothing that is we are able to see. Can anyone tell me why? Can anyone tell me that why is it so? Because originally this is our real function, right? This is also a function. We are not denying that this is not a function, but this is a separate way of function in which we are assigning the data or the function body inside some variable. So we can say that this is indirect function. All right. Yes, this is also function, but this is pure function. That's why f is written in front of it. Okay. And this function, I'm not saying that why display is not written. Okay. That is the concept of anonymous, but we are writing it here because this is where we are assigning it into some variable. Fine. So this is the difference between both of them. Now, this was the simple logic that I was showing you. Now, category, if we will talk about in the functions. So there are two type of categories in the functions. One, where we are going to pass the parameters. Second, where we are not going to pass the parameters. That means parameterized functions and non-parameterized function. Okay. Now, these are the types of the non-parameterized function because we are not passing anything within the round brackets, correct? Now, I will show you the category of parameterized function. Okay. Now, let me come here. Now, while calling, if I'm going to pass something, let's say I'm passing here Peter Parker. You know, like in so many years, whenever I give examples, I always give examples of Marvel people: Peter Parker, Thor Odinson, Loki Odinson. Then we have Captain America, right? And then we have Hulk, correct? Iron Man, right? So many Marvel superheroes are there. I think everyone knows about them, right? Yes, guys? Yes or no, guys? Everyone must have heard about them, right? So I always, whenever I'm taking the sessions, I don't use any extra names. I always use either Peter Parker or Thor or Loki or all such names. Okay, Tony Stark, yes. So Peter Parker, and what is the designation of this Peter Parker? He's a Spider-Man, right? So I'm writing it here like this. So that means we are passing two parameters here. One is the name of the person, and what is the designation? Okay, fine. Wait, let me put it here. Is it fine now? Let me also put it like this. Let me do inspect and then console. Okay. Yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan. I have almost watched every movie. Thanos and all. Doctor Strange is, I really like Doctor Strange. Okay, so let's go ahead with this one. So this is function, and this is vanilla JavaScript function. This is a display function. Okay, fine. Yes, I will also talk about hoisting, so don't worry. Okay, and this is a show function. Fine. So here we are calling this show function, but we are passing these two parameters here. Okay, how many number of parameters we are passing? Two. This is the first one, the name of the person, Peter Parker, and what is the designation? He is Spider-Man, right? Now, when I'm going to pass this function, where I'm going to pass? I'm going to pass it in here. All right. So that means these two parameters are going to be, these two arguments are going to be passed in here. All right. So I can put them in any sort of variable. Let's say I'm writing here name. Okay. And comma, let's say designation, right? That is where they are designed for. Then if you want, you can take the names. The name is, all right, either you're going to write comma and then the variable name, fine. Or the other way I told you that how you can do this, just do console.log, okay, put template literals. This sign is present in your keyboard above tab button. All right, fine. Okay, and that's where we are going to write here. The name is, in the similar manner, you can write dollar curly braces, the variable name. Now I'll tell you the reason that why we are doing this. Okay, the reason is very simple and pretty easy, because when we write, let's say I want to write here and his designation is, then again comma, right, and then designation, right? So can you see that how messy it is, that I need to really understand that where I am starting the inverted commas, then I need to put the single comma, then I need to again put the inverted commas and the single comma, right? So rather than having this entire part like look like this, where it is going to be very confusing for me and it is going to be messy, so what I will do, I will take literals. Okay, then wherever I need to put the variable, I just need to write them within the curly braces and the dollar sign. Then I don't have to worry about the inverted commas anymore, right? And his designation is dollar this, fine. So this is how we can see the answer. Now let me save it. Okay, you can see that the name is Peter Parker and his designation is Spider-Man. All right, fine. And then while calling the display function, what we can do, we can write here Doctor Strange, right? So Doctor, I think the full name is Stephen Strange, right? Okay. Okay, tell me what Doctor Strange is. Yes. What Dr. Stephen Strange does, or what he is. We can ask. I can ask. Yes, tell me. The way that we teach, the way we should learn, it should always be a fun way. Okay, it should not be like that we are reading in a boring stuff. Okay, so he is, yes, sorcerer's Supreme. Okay, so I'm going to write. Let me know if my spellings are wrong. Okay, SOR CERER Supreme. I hope my spellings are right. Okay, fine. Timekeeper, yeah, wizard, surgeon, magician. Who is saying he's magician or jadugar? Very funny. All right. So this is how we are taking this. Okay. Now, if we're going to pass the names again, what we can do, we can take the variable names. Again, I'm going to take same variable name. It doesn't matter if I'm going to take the same variable name. The reason is because now these variable names are within the scope of this function, and these variable names are also within the scope of this function. Okay, they are not gonna come out of their scope, so it doesn't matter if you're going to take the same variable names as well. So then the same thing we can apply in here. I can save it, and then you can see the answer that the name is Dr. Stephen Strange and his designation is Sorcerer Supreme. All right, fine. So this is how we can define the parameterized function. Now, I have a very important question. This is an interview based question. What is the difference? Do not search for Google. Do not type anything on ChatGPT, on Gemini, or Google as well. Be truthful to yourself and tell me the answer, that what is the difference between parameter and argument. Yes, tell me. What is the difference between parameters and arguments? Yes, hurry up, guys. Parameter is a variable, okay. And what are arguments? Correct. Very good, guys. Yes, so it is true. It is true. Whenever we are calling the function, at that time the variables that we are passing, they are basically called as arguments, and when we are receiving them here, okay, they are known as parameters. So understand this concept, because this is very important, because many times I have seen that in JavaScript interviews, they are asking these questions. All right, now let's go to the next part. Now let me tell you more about the functions. Now there is one more category of the function in which we are using the concept of immediate invoke function. Okay, now immediate invoke function means a function in which is going to be called by itself. So that's why I gave the name for this one, rather than immediate invoke function, as the self-calling function. All right, now how we can define this? So let me show you. So what we are going to do, I'm going to put everything in comment. Okay, let me write here one function, round bracket. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, wait, I'm gonna put everything in this here only. Okay, now let me write here function, and then let me call here the show function, round bracket, curly braces, console.log. This is show function. All right, and now earlier we were calling it like this, correct, guys? Yes, true? Yes or no? Okay, so rather than calling it like this, what we need to do, we need to wrap this entire part, okay, into the round bracket. You can see that I have put round bracket, and then after the round brackets, put one more round bracket as we are calling this function. Okay, fine. Now as soon as I'm going to save this and execute this, you will see the answer. So this is this is known as immediate invoke functions. Okay, fine. All right. Is it clear, everyone? So this is how we can call the functions. Now, the next question, the interview question. What is the difference between function expression and what is the difference between function declaration? Now, this is a very yes, Gurang, there is no need to call. And yes, this is true. This is going to be called only once, but we can perform this type of function there when we want that some type of functionality I want to load as soon as the website is going to open, or any application that we are going to build is going to have, as soon as the application is loading, that part should also load. So without even worrying that whether I have called that function properly or not, I can put that function into the immediate invoke function. And that's the power of this one. Okay, fine, guys. Now let me talk about, yes guys, everyone is here, yes or no? Yes or no, students, everyone is here? Write yes or no in the chat box, please. All right, I'm going to have my cup of coffee, all right, because I love teaching and I love to have a sip of coffee as well, side by side. All right, so now let me tell you, yes, everyone is right. We don't have to install Amin for any JavaScript. We can directly code it. Okay. Now, function declaration. Okay, declaration and expression. So if I'm writing here function, this simple display round bracket, what do we call it? It is function declaration or function expression? Yes, guys. It is a function declaration and function expression. Or function expression? What is this? Correct. This is function declaration. But you know what? We can also put this function as an expression. Okay. How we can do that? Const display is equal to function round bracket and curly braces. Now this particular part is where we can say that this is the function expression. That means where we are putting this entire part into some variable. All right, fine. Yes, I'll explaining this in Hindi. So basically होता क्या है कि यहाँ पे जब हम किसी भी फंक्शन को असाइन करते हैं इज इक्वल टू असाइनमेंट ऑपरेटर के साथ, ओके, उस टाइम पे इस चीज को हम क्या कहते हैं? फंक्शन एक्सप्रेशन. लेकिन अगर हम सिंपली उसको फंक्शन कीवर्ड के साथ लिख देते हैं लाइक दिस, तो इस चीज को हम कहते हैं फंक्शन डिक्लेरेशन. सो दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन बोथ ऑफ देम. ऑलराइट, नाउ let me talk to you about the return statement, that what is the power of return. Okay, now let me write here function, let's say cartoons. All right, let's start. Fine. Now within this function, let's say I'm writing here anything. For example, what is the name of the latest cartoons, guys? Yes, arrow function itself is a function expression. Correct, you are right. Okay, give me the names of cartoons, guys. Ben 10, Chota Bheem. अच्छा, मोटू पतलू, नो कार्टून. अच्छा, एनिमे तो देखते हो क्या? डोरेमोन, Shinchan I can write. I like Shinchan. I love Shinchan. Okay, so latest one, not latest one, it is very old. Shinchan is naughty. All right. Now this is a function, right? Now, if I'm going to call this function here, we know how the answer is gonna look like. The answer is gonna look like this, like Shinchan is naughty. Correct? Can I put emojis in here, guys? Tell me. Yeah, I love to. I always love to watch Pokemon, Tom and Jerry. Yeah. Tell me, guys, if I want to put emojis in here, can I? And if I can, then how I can do that? How? Windows and dot. Okay, so we can apply in here. Let me write if I can find Shinjan. No, these all are the GIF images. All right, let me come in here. Let me put here this. But if I'm putting the emoji here, will I be able to see it in the terminal or in the output section? Let me execute. Yes, you can see. So the Shinchan is naughty. It's true. Okay, so that's why it is also laughing. So Shinchan is true, but what is going to happen, guys, if I'm going to call this function within the console.log? Now tell me that what is going to be the output. Yes, we can insert the emoji. You need to press Windows key along with dot, Windows plus dot key. Okay. Yes, guys, tell me that what is going to be the answer for this one. Hurry up. Yes, guys, give me, tell me. Pura function, no, it will not give us the entire function because we are not just typing function name. We are also writing here round bracket. So whenever you're going to write here round bracket like this, immediately, now this is the part of the function. In most of the programming language, whenever we will see that there is a function calling, it will immediately go towards that part and will start executing that function. So from in here as well, it will do the same. It will go here immediately. Okay, it will start executing the function and then it will display this line in here as well. But apart from this, one more thing is going to come, which is the undefined. Now, what is the reason for that? The reason for that is because the console.log, the main purpose of this thing is to display the output, right? But we are not giving it any exact output. We are not giving it anything in return so that it can display for its own purpose, right? We are just calling the cartoons function and it is just going to play its own part. So that's why, because it is not getting anything in return, it is going to give us the undefined like this. But as soon as if I'm going to write here return, let's say I'm returning here 9 and save it, correct, and execute it, now it is giving me 9 in here. Why? Now understand this reason. Whenever you are going to call a function, it doesn't matter you are putting it within the console.log, you are calling it directly somewhere. Whenever you're calling a function, when the function is going to be called, instead of this entire function, what is going to happen? Whatever you're going to return, it will scrap this entire function. Okay, it will scrap this entire function. All right, I'm sorry, guys. Yes, it will scrap this entire function. Fine. And then we are going to return this part here. So that's how it is going to give us the answer. All right, guys. So that is the purpose. Now you have understood the purpose very well. Now I have few questions that I want to ask. Now let me show you. Actually, first of all, you need to give me the answer of this thing. We can use only one return. Okay. Tell me, guys, what is going to be the answer for this one? Yes, what is the answer of this one, guys? मैं रिपीट कर रही हूँ रिटर्न वाला पार्ट. तो जब भी हम लोग कोई भी फंक्शन को कॉल करते हैं, तो फंक्शन अपने आप को यहाँ पे एग्जीक्यूट करने के बाद अपनी जगह पे किसको छोड़ जाता है? रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट को. तो इस वजह से console.log को 9 मिला और उसने 9 को प्रिंट करवा दिया. ओके, Hello students and show function. Hello students, show function, both. No, it is wrong. It is not going to give us any output. It is going to give us error. Now tell me why it is giving us error. Tell me why it is giving us error. Yes, guys. No, not because of the undefined. No, it's not true. What else? What else, guys? Can't call the function by name. No, this is not true. This is also not true again. No, the reason is we did not put semicolon. Do you remember yesterday I was telling you that industry always ask every candidate that you should practice putting the semicolon in your JavaScript files, right? But students don't listen. Candidates don't listen. They're still writing the entire code of JavaScript without semicolons. Okay, so that's why this is the power of semicolon. All right, now if I'm going to save this, it will show the answer. See, now, because you were not putting the semicolon here, semicolon is like a full stop. As you write sentence, then you put full stop, right? So that you can start another sentence. So this is just like that. All right. But if you are not writing the semicolon here, then it will think that this entire part, because I'm wrapping it within the round brackets, right? So it will think that this is its own part. We are like trying to call its own console.log. Okay, so that's the reason. And because of this, I have seen many candidates not getting any selection because their code is not clean. They are not writing a proper code. Plus, the other reason that they get rejected sometimes is because whenever you're trying to give any variable name or any function name, it should have the specific meaning. All right, it should have a specific meaning. Okay, otherwise you can also get rejection because your code is not making sense. Fine, so these are the two industry standards that you should follow. There are more, so we'll talk about them as well. Fine, I hope guys you have learned the lesson. Okay, so now let's go ahead. All right, so let me now write here function Marvel heroes. Okay, console.log Marvel heroes. And then let me create here function DC heroes. All right, now tell me, I'm writing here Marvel heroes round bracket. Okay, how I can call DC heroes as well? Yes, how I can call DC heroes? I will recommend you to go with JavaScript. Okay, because JavaScript has so many frameworks and all, and most of the industry is now using JavaScript. So go ahead with this. How I can get the output of DC heroes? This is going to give me the output of Marvel heroes only. Fine. How I can get inside the parent function? Correct. We can call the DC heroes within the parent functions. All right. All right, let me put some emoji in here. Some sort of flowers we can put, or we can leave it. Okay, so Marvel heroes. Here I can write DC heroes round bracket. Let me save it and then let me execute it. Okay, so now we are seeing the answers of both. Fine. Now I want to tell you one thing. Tell me if I'm going to write here return DC heroes, how I can still see the answer, or how I can still call this function. Now tell me, do not look Google, do not go for ChatGPT, do not do that. Okay, be truthful to yourself, guys. Tell me how we can call this. We always do such type of, normal functions. We learn normal functions, but you don't go deep into the concepts. That's what I'm trying to do in here. Tell me, guys. If I'm going to write John return DC heroes and round bracket, then that is going to be a problem, right? Because then why I'm putting return if I'm going to directly call in here? Okay, I'll show you magic. Put round bracket outside. Save it. Execute it. You are still seeing the answer, right? Yes, guys? Now, you have not seen such type of function calling earlier, right? Okay, so this is how we can call it. All right, so this is another way of calling it. Now, the same explanation I gave you. Now, you just have to think about the explanation that I gave you and think in your mind what ma'am said. Whenever, first of all, it will see this part is getting called, right? Now, when we are calling this function, so this function will immediately go in here, okay, and will execute this part and will show it in here. After that, it will not go here because it doesn't matter to it, because we are not calling it from anywhere. But what we are doing, we are returning this entire part, this entire function. So what it will do, when, because we are returning this function here, it will pick this entire function, place, because this function is already called, so it is going to scrap it and put this entire return function in here, which is again getting called, right? So this is the reason that then we will be able to see DC heroes. Oh, I misspelled it. You didn't tell me, guys. All right. So this is how we can write. Is it clear, guys? I told you, you are gonna be surprised that in how many ways we can write function and we can call functions. Yes? All right, let's go ahead. Then what we are going to do? Acha, let me tell you one more. Acha, one more thing, if you want to pass the parameters, you can also pass the parameter here. So the first parameter, Marvel function, I'm writing here Peter Parker, or let me write here Spider-Man. Okay, and here I'm going to write Superman. Fine. So here, Marvel hero, hero name 1. Here I can pass hero name 2. Okay, and then if I'm going to write here comma hero name 1 and comma hero name 2, then this is how the answer is going to look like. Okay, so the first round bracket will always be for the Marvel hero. The second round bracket is always be for the inner part of the function. Okay, now let me give you another example. Function outer function inner curly braces. Okay, and let me call this inner function in here. Then let me call this outer function in here. Okay, let me have let a is equal to 9. Fine. Then let b is equal to 10. Fine. And then let c is equal to 11. All right. Then I'm going to write here console.log a comma b comma c. Now let me save this. As soon as I'm going to call this, this is going to give us the answer 9, 10 and 11. Okay, fine. Now, if I'll ask you that, how this ABC is getting retrieved. So you should explain in such a way that, first of all, because we are calling outer, so it will go inside the outer function. It will initialize the value of, we are having a value of b in here 10. Then it will go here, because we are calling inner function, then it will go in the inner function where we are having a value of c is equal to 11. When it is trying to console log the value of a, first of all, it will try to look the value of a within its own scope. If the a value is not going to be found, then it is going to look inside the its parent scope. Okay, if it is again not going to be found in here, then it is going to go outside the scope of the parent. There it is going to find a value, and then it is going to put it in here. So that's how every time whenever we are calling something, or whenever we are trying to access something, or console.log or show the output, every time the variables or the output are going to look within their own scope. Okay, now this part where it is trying to look the data within its own parent scope, this part is basically lexical scope. Okay, this is the lexical scope of inner function, right? This is the lexical scope of its parent, correct? So this is the lexical scope. Now if I try to ask you, okay, then what is the difference between closure? If I'll ask you the closure, okay, closure definition in the internet, you will always find that whenever your your function can access the like data or the variable of its parent function, go on the internet and find. Yes guys, go on the internet and type what is closure. You will find this exact definition. Go guys, google it right away, that what is closure. You will find the same explanation I gave you, that it will like in which a child can access the variables or the outer environment of its parent. Right? Is this everyone is finding? Yes or no, guys? Correct. Okay, so I will tell you a very simple difference between both of them. Okay, because you will see that, ma'am, here the lexical scope is also this, and closure is also able to get the access of this, right? Then what is the difference? So lexical scope is like think of lexical scope as you're trying to you're looking inside the boxes placed within each other. That means to know exactly where to look. Okay, it has a dedicated path that where you are going to look for. And if I will say about the closure, then closure will, with the help of lexical scope, it is able to get the value of b. But even after this entire part is going to be finished or vanished or scrap itself, it will still remember the value of b within its inner function. Okay, now I'll give you example. I'll tell you that how this is possible. Okay, now let's say if I want to, let me create one function here. Okay, so let me just put this in comment section. Let me come in here. Function counter round bracket curly braces, let count is equal to 0. Fine. Then return function curly braces count plus plus console.log count. Okay, then I'm going to call this counter function once, then I'm going to call this counter function twice, then again I'm going to call this counter function thrice. Now see this function, tell me every time when it is gonna come, it is gonna called. Okay, it is gonna come in here and then it is gonna call. Now tell me that according to this, what is going to be the answer? Yes, guys, tell me. 1 1 1 1 2 3. Okay, give me more answers, guys. 0 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, all right. So it is gonna give us 1 2 and wait, what happened? Achha, is it gonna give us the answer? Tell me, guys. Is it gonna give me the answer? No. What I have to do? I have to write here const, right? Counter data is equal to counter round bracket because somehow we want to call this inner function as well, right? After calling the outer function, because here outer function is getting called. When outer function is going to be called, it is gonna scrap itself and then it is gonna put the inner function in here, right? Because we are returning this function, so entire this function is going to come in here. So if you will see the console.log of this counter data, you know what you will see? Let me execute this. You will see this function that we are returning here. Okay, so that's why it is going to now call inner function all the 3 times, and because of this you will see the answer 1 2 and 3. Okay, fine, guys. The reason is because I have just told you that if you are using return, if you want to execute this function, you need to call it. Either you can call it like this, as I told you, by putting 2 round brackets. Okay, or what you can do, you can store this function calling. Okay, call this function, store its information inside the variable. Okay, then when this function is gonna call, it will scrap itself, and whatever we are going to return, it is gonna put this instead of itself. Then this entire function is basically going to be assigned into where? Into counter data, right? So that's why when you are calling this 3 times, so first time because it is incremented, so it is going to write here 1 2 and 3. Correct? Fine. So now the other thing is that but it should not be happening. It should always go in here and take the value count 0 and always give 1 1 1. The other thing is that this count value, original, it is present inside this, let's say, variable. Okay, now because we are scrapping this function once it is called, so what it will do, it will have its value stored in some memory where we can refer the value. So first time the 0 was here, so it was taking the 0 from here, increasing the value of count, and then replacing the, or you can say like putting the 1 instead of 0. Then for this it is giving 1. When it is going to come back again in this function, what is going to happen? Now it is gonna look at the same memory location, refer to the same memory location, where it will see 1, and then it is going to increment and give 2. Again, when it is going to call the third time, okay, wait, again it is gonna go from here, look for the reference memory where the values referenced, and then it will see that instead of 1 it was 2 in here, and then it will increment and give 3. Okay, fine. So this is how we are going to call this function, and this is the concept of closure. All right, guys, fine. So this is how it is gonna work. Is it clear, everyone? Write yes or no in the chat box. Yes or no, guys? Okay, so this is how it is gonna work. So this is what the functions, what the closures are. Okay. Yes, I hope that it is clear to all of you. Now let us talk about more. Let me see. Acha, tell me one thing. Now, another important point in functions are from where the questions came. All right, that is the function hoisting concept. Okay. Now, what is function hoisting concept? Let me show you. Whatever the code I'm writing here, I will give you the link of that code directly. Okay. So let me write here function show round bracket curly braces console.log show function. Okay, fine. Now what is going to happen? Let's say that I'm calling the function in here. Okay, now what is going to happen? Can you see answer? Now if I'm going to cut from it from here, put it here, you will again see the answer, right? Now let me write here const display display function. Will you see the answer? Of course you are going to see the answer. But if I'm going to put it in here, save it, it will give me an error. It will say that what is this display function, or we cannot access display before initialization. Do you remember, guys, I showed you yesterday the same error I showed you yesterday for the for what part? For variable initialization part, right? I will show you here. Let me give you a revision. Let a is equal to 9. If I'm going to console.log a like this, so it is gonna give me the same error, right? Now, because we are storing this function, arrow function, within a variable name, display variable name, right? Okay, so when we are storing it within the variable name, so it will behave like a variable only. So whenever we are like trying to access it, we cannot access the variable before its initialization. So that's why it is giving me the error here. Okay, not only the variable, but because we are storing the function in the variable. Okay, so that's why it is not going to happen in here. But why it is happening in here? Now understand this concept from the like how the code is going to be executed in the background. Okay, I'll give you explanation for this one. Now what happens that whenever you are going to call the function with the function keyword, okay, what it will do, it will first of all, whenever the function are declared with the function keywords in the background, it will pick those functions and it will put the function before its scope. That means it will take the functions and put it on the starting point. You can think of it like that. So if it is going to put it before its calling, or before its scope, or in the starting of the function, okay, or in the starting of the file, then what will happen? Eventually in the background, the code will work exactly like this. Okay, like this. Why? Because we are no doubt defining it here, but calling it earlier. But in the background, when the program is going to execute, it will pick the function, show function, the definition or the body of the function, and it will put it before the show function, or in the starting of the file, or in the starting of the code. Okay, so in the background, it is going to execute or look like this only. But for us, it feels like that no, we can call it like by writing it anywhere in the code. This concept is known as function hoisting. Okay, we are using const because we want to store, so we don't we are storing the data, or we are creating the function only once, okay, with the same name. Fine, so that's why. All right, so this is why, this is how the function hoisting concept work. Okay, is it clear to everyone that what is function hoisting, guys? Yes or no, guys? Yes, everyone. Yes, so this is function hoisting. All right, fine. Now let's talk about more of the functions, more of the interview questions, that what type of interview questions can come. All right, so okay, I'll ask you a few questions. Okay, first question, very common. What is closure in JavaScript? What is lexical scoping in JavaScript? And why do we use closures? Okay, so you can give a very simple explanation for this one, that the closure is a function that remembers the variables from its outer scope even after the outer function has finished executing. I gave you the same explanation along with the practical example, right? And why do we use closures? Closures are used to create private variables, okay, or it also maintain the state of the function calling. That's why we use this. Now let me ask you the next question. Can you give me, like, what happens when you return a function from another function? Tell me. I have just like told you this part. What will happen when you return a function from another function? Tell me. Yes, write your answers. Yes, it is returning the function. Now everyone will be like that, okay, yes, the closures are good, the closure is getting be used. All right, I, as being interviewer, I will ask you a different question. Is there any potential disadvantage or potential problems that closures can occur, can create? Right, this question can also be come into the interview, like what are the drawbacks of the closures, right? So of course everything has its own pros and cons, correct? So the drawback of the closure is that it is going to increase the complexity, right? If you're going to have so many inner functions, then it is going to be difficult for debugging, right? Then it is also going to leak the memory leakage is going to be there. How memory leakage? Because once we have created the closure concept, we are not closing that, right? Okay, we are not closing that, so that's why the memory, because it has taken some space in the memory, so it is always going to be open for that closure, right? So that's why the memory leakage is going to be there. Fine. Yes, yes, correct, guys. That I hope that all of you are getting whatever I'm saying to you. Okay. All right. Now give me your queries, guys. Whatever your queries are, just start typing it in the chat box, and I will be giving you the answer. But related to functions only, guys, not here and there. Yes, guys. Okay, I have one more question to be asked from you. There are two more types of functions. One is pure function and one is impure function. Okay, one is pure function, one is impure function. Can anyone tell me? Impure and pure function, guys. This is also one of my candidate was the interviewer asked this question in the interview. Pure function and impure functions. If you don't know, just go on Google, write pure functions and impure functions, and then give me the answer in the chat box. Hurry up, guys. Hurry up, hurry up. Impure and pure functions. Pure functions does not contain side effects. Yes, that's true. And what is impure function? Impure functions has side effects. Yes, guys? Hurry up, everyone. I want answer from each one of you, not from just 2 or 3 or 5 students. I would like I will say, Yashtaraj, that you should have the information of all the answers. All right, all or you should have the knowledge of everything in deeper way. A pure function is a function that produces the same output for the inputs, correct? While an impure function will produce different outputs for the same inputs, correct? I'll give you the example. Okay, I'll show you here. So let me write here function pure. Let me give the name pure. Okay, and let me write here return a plus b. I'm going to pass here a and b. Okay, now console.log, if I'm going to call here 2 comma 3, again if I'm going to call here pure function with 2 comma 3, now tell me what is going to be the answer. Yes, guys, what is going to be the answer in here? The answer is always going to be 5 and 5. Okay, now if I'm going to write here something like this, now let me give you the example of impure. Okay, and you will tell me that how and why the answer is coming like that. Let total is equal to 0, fine, function add total value curly braces total plus is equal to value, right? And then let me return total in here. All right, here console.log add total, okay, and then console.log add total round bracket 5 and save it. Okay, now what is going to be the answer for this one? Tell me. Hurry up, guys. Very good. The answer is going to be 5 and 10. Why? Because here we are defining this variable outside. So I told you yesterday that when we are defining the like variable outside like this, so it is always going to be a global variable. So at first it was accessing it, okay, in here. So total was 0. So after putting the value in here, it became 5. So now the total value is going to be updated to 5. When it is going to call this function again, then it is going to put the 5 plus 5, 10. So that's how it is gonna give us the answer like this. Clear, guys? So that is the example of pure and impure functions. So we should avoid having the impure functions. All right, everyone. Yes, guys. Now I'm gonna give you the code. Okay, the code is in here, guys. Just type this entire link, okay, in your chat box, and you will be able to see the code. Do not put Control and X. Okay, do not put Control X. Just do copy and paste. Hurry up, guys. All right, guys. I hope that you have. I'm here, guys. All right. So I hope that you have taken this entire code. Okay. Yes, there is async function as well. Async function we'll be talking about when we'll talk about the promises and all. All right. But this is about it. Uh, any queries, guys? Do you have any queries? Yes. Do you have any queries? No, मैं सोई नहीं हूँ. All right. So I was waiting so that everyone can finish copy pasting this entire piece of code. All right. So I'm going to remove it from here, guys. Okay. Now, let me ask you. Okay. Do you let me give you one homework for you to do. All right. Let me wait. I'm giving you one function related task. Wait. Yes, I'm going to tell you about the scope, lexical scope again. Just wait 1 second. Let me do here function events, JavaScript functions. All right. So I'll give this entire Word document file, guys. Okay. Or I can do one thing. I can put it right away in that. Guys, do one thing. Just retrieve that again, the same link. I'm going to put it here. These are the 5 tasks that you can do to enhance your ability of the function. Okay, these are the hands-on assignment that I would like you to complete. Okay, take it as a task, guys. All right, everyone. Okay, and the lexical scope is when you are able to when you know, the inner function will know that where to look for, okay, to get the data. If it is not able to find the variable within itself, then it will look into its parents scope. All right, so that's what lexical scope is, guys. This is the, do not do control Z. Okay, these are the function based scenario based question I created. Okay, so you guys can practice these tasks. All right, fine. Yes, guys. You can also connect me on LinkedIn, guys. Fine. Yes, that is the lexical scope. Correct. Give me any other query you guys are having. Give me, guys. What else is there? Okay. I have given you the link of my LinkedIn profile, guys. Okay, you can connect me there as well. Yes, I have given. Okay, wait, let me give you the link of the task as well. Wait, guys. Everyone, please stop messaging for 1 minute. Guys, please do not remove this. I'm giving stop everyone. Please stop writing messages in the chat box so that I can give you the link of the task. All right. Guys, this is the link of the task. Okay, this is the link of the task, guys. And this is my this is everyone please stop sending messages, and this is my profile link, guys, by the name of Richa Arora, that is coming in here. Okay, and please guys practice, everyone, and do not please do cut and paste. Okay, everyone. Now let me share this code as well again into some other file. So I'll be giving you the file. Wait. Within that page only, after the task 5, starting from line number 61, okay, line number 61, I'm putting the code as well. Okay, so the code that I taught you, and the entire task is again in here. All right, fine, guys. I hope that you have liked the session, guys. All right, and I would please subscribe this channel. Also, make give likes or put your comments below on the video on the YouTube, that how did you find the session. All right, and then tomorrow I will see you again. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about data handling and how we can work around with the DOM as well. So stay tuned. Tomorrow we are going to do more fun parts. All right, so take care, guys. Have a good night. Bye, everyone.